Welcome, everybody, to the Budget and Finance Committee. This is Monday, June 5th, 2023. We got a full calendar here today, so I'm going to go ahead and start reading through everything on consent and then try to get a motion to get that moved out of the way so we can move on with the other more hefty matters. I will start reading consent now. Item number 3 on the resolutions, 2023-2193, Roten in Syracuse appropriates $96,000 from a certain account of the Community Safety Fund for grants to various nonprofit organizations for South Nashville community safety programs. Item number 5, 2023-2195, Roten Syracuse Hurt and Others approves a grant from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to Davidson County General Sessions Court to provide the Tennessee Mental Health Court Program to include intensive court supervision, mental health treatment services, drug testing, and substance abuse treatment services, an alternative to incarceration. Item number 10, 2023-2200, Roten, Withers, Syracuse, and Others approves the Historic Preservation Fund underrepresented community grant from the U.S. Department of Interior, National Park Service, and the Metropolitan Historical Commission to develop a countywide historic context for Nashville and Davidson County's 20th century African-American districts. Item number 12, 2023-2202, Roten approves Amendment 1 to a grant from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency to the Metropolitan Department of Finance to provide for reimbursement of COVID-related intangible expenses pursuant to Presidential Disaster Declaration number FEMA 4514-DRTN. Item number 13, 2023-2204, Roten Syracuse Hurt and Swara approves a grant from the Tennessee Department of Finance Administration to the Metropolitan Office of Family Safety to fund staffing positions to help manage the multidisciplinary needs of its clients. Item 14, 2023-2205, Roten, Syracuse, Swara, and Welsh approves a Stop Fatality Review Grant from Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration to the Metropolitan Office of Family Safety to promote a coordinated, multidisciplinary approach to improving the criminal justice system's response to sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking crimes. Item number 16, 2023-2207, Roten, Syracuse, and Welsh approves a grant from the Tennessee Department of Health to the Metropolitan Board of Health to implement and coordinate activities and services related to HIV prevention, testing, diagnosis, treatment, and surveillance. 2203-2208, Roten, Syracuse, Hancock, and Bradford approves a grant from the Friends of Metro Animal Care and Control to the Metropolitan Board of Health to provide funding for emergency medical care and shelter animals. 2203-2209, Roten, Syracuse, Hurt, and Others approves the Health Start Initiative Eliminating Racial Ethnic Disparities grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to the Metropolitan Board of Health to provide a variety of services in reducing infant mortality for pregnant and parenting women. 2203-2210, Roten, Syracuse, Hurt, and Others approves a grant from the Tennessee Department of Health to the Metropolitan Board of Health to provide breast and cervical cancer screening and diagnostic services to eligible individuals. 22-23-2211, Roten, Syracuse, Hurt, and Welsh approves Amendment 1 and 2 to a COVID-19 health disparities among populations grant from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention to the Metropolitan Board of Health to address COVID-19 related health disparities and expand capacity and services to prevent and control infection or transmission among underserved populations. 2023-2212, Roten, Syracuse, Hancock, and Welsh approves Amendment 4 to a grant from the U.S. Environment Protection Agency to the Metropolitan Board of Health for the ongoing collection of data on ambient air concentrations of 2.5 for fine particulate matter in Nashville. 2023-2214, Taylor, Roten, Pulley, and Hurt supports a permanent public art lighting installation in North Nashville and improves a application for a license agreement between the National Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure and the Tennessee Department of Transportation relating to the use of certain space on Arthur Avenue under the I-40, I-65 bridge for the permanent public art lighting installation. 2023-2215, Roten, Pulley, and Hurt approves an intergovernmental license agreement between the National Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure and its Commissioner of Transportation, granting NDOT permission to use a portion of the sound wall along I-40 on Carroll Street from Charles E. Davis Boulevard to First Avenue to install, operate, and maintain transportation artwork on the Carroll Street facing side of the existing sound wall along I-40. 2023-2216, Roten and Pulley approves a donation for the Metro Center North owner LLC in the amount of $55,800 as a contribution toward infrastructure improvements in the vicinity of 550 Great Circle Road. Go with me. 2023-2218 wrote and authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Robert Newsom against Metropolitan government in the amount of $14,000 with said amount to be paid from the self-insured liability fund. 2023-2219 Henderson, Wrote and Withers and others approves an option agreement between the Metropolitan government of Friends of Warner Parks Incorporated and authorizing the purchase of certain property owned by Friends of Warner Parks Incorporated. 2023-2220 Wrote and Syracuse and Hurt approves a Project Safe Neighborhood grant from the Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration to the Metro Nashville Police Department to reduce gun-related violence in Nashville by using data and network analysis, funding additional staff, overtime, and purchasing added forensic equipment. 2023-2221 Wrote and Syracuse Hurt and others approves a Victim of Crime Act grant from the Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration to the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to fund additional staffing, enhance services, and serve more victims of crime. 2023-2222 Wrote and Syracuse Hancock and Hurt approves an application for a community policing development officer recruitment grant from the U.S. Department of Justice to the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department to increase the number of qualified applicants and retain current officers by creating a positive work environment that supports diversity and inclusivity. 2023-2224 Roberts, Wroten, Withers, and Pulley approves a participation agreement between the Metropolitan Department of Water and Sewerage Services and Camden Development, Inc. to provide stormwater infrastructure improvements through funding the design and construction of an improved stormwater system. 2023-2228 wrote and authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of Laura Beth Bowles against the Metropolitan government in the amount of $21,850 with said amount to be paid out of the self-insured liability fund. 2023-2229 wrote and authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the property damage claim of Christian Bennerman against the Metropolitan government in the amount of $54,178 with said amount to be paid out of the self-insured liability fund. 2023-2230 wrote and authorized the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle personal injury claim of Michael Bersati against the Metropolitan government in the amount of $170,000 and that said amount to be paid from the self-insured liability fund. 2023-2231 authorized the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Josemar Jordan against Metropolitan government in the amount of $21,000 with said amount to be paid in the out of the self-insured liability fund. And that is the consent calendar. I have a hand raised. Council Member Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. I just have a few I have questions on.
Sure.
Actually.
No, that's okay.
Okay. 2023, 2193, 2211.
Hold on just 1 second.
Okay. 2193, 2211.
2211. Moving along. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
2218.
All right.
2220 and 2231.
Those five will be removed from the consent calendar.
Thank you.
So, seeing no other hands, can I get a motion? Moved, properly seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? You approve the consent calendar. What are the numbers on that? And that was 14 in favor, 0 against for the consent calendar. All right. Moving on, we are, the bill's on public hearing. We have the budget ordinance and then we have the CIB. Both of these, we can have discussions if you'd like. What will happen here is we will move these and then they will get re-referred as they always do. So we can have discussions tonight. We'll have the public hearing tomorrow. The motion will be for approval and a re-referral back to this committee. And then on the 15th, the substitute budget is coming out and then we will have lots of discussion here about obviously that going forward. So are there any hands on the operating budget at this time? Oh, I'm sorry, Bob. Councilmember Mendez, you have a proposed amendment, so my apologies. Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized.
No worries. Like I've done in previous years, I'm not planning on moving the amendment on second reading, but I want to put it in the package so people have time to take a look at it. Through some of the work sessions, there have been discussion about whether there's some one-time uses of the surplus fund balance money that we could do something with in the budget. Like I heard Councilmember Cash wonder about one-time bonuses for employees. And this language is intended to revise the fund balance policy. Currently, it lists out 3 specific type of one-time uses, and the amendment would make it so it's any one-time use would be okay. So the idea is to hopefully keep the concept of you can only use a surplus fund balance for one-time stuff, but instead of just a specific 3 things, anything that's one time. And I just want to throw that out as a tool as people try to figure out what to do about the budget. So again, I'm not planning on moving it on second reading, but just wanted it out for people to look at.
Yeah. And thank you, Councilmember Reyes. I read through it, and I really appreciate what you're trying to do here. Did administration have any thoughts, or y'all? Kelly, you're recognized. Oh, sorry, wrong table. Thanks.
Sure, and maybe I'm going to ask a question back to Director Darby. When we did the fund balance policy, it was via a resolution, right? So is it more appropriate to file some sort of resolution adjusting the actual policy, by Friday to try and get that past the 20th rather than amending the budget ordinance?
The original fund balance policy was approved by resolution, and it can be amended by resolution as well. I think that what the council member is attempting to do, or trying to do here, or the intent here, is to add language to the narrative portion of the operating budget that would have the effect of amending the fund balance policy.
6 of one, half dozen the other, whatever is more appropriate. And I haven't had time to actually review what the implication is. I just wasn't sure.
We'll be reviewing the procedural aspect.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember Mendez. Did you have anything else? Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you. I think that amending the actual policy is probably a cleaner way to go if we want to do it both ways. But I think if you have a policy that hasn't been amended, but a budget ordinance based off of a policy, that doesn't make any sense. So to me, I would rather do that. So unless Councilman Mendez has an issue with that, I would want to see if we could get that filed before Friday so that it could be in the amendments packet. And then my question is, it's creating a tool for us. Do we need to have that tool in place for us to come up with our substitute or to deal with that? So should we move the amendment now? Councilman Sledge's son says no.
Ms. Darby, I'll let Ms. Darby take that, and then I'll let it go back.
I think that Councilman Sledge's son is correct. You do not need to move that this evening.
In order to have the tool for us with the substitute?
If it gets included into the budget is amendable on third reading. If it gets included at on third reading, we would be fine.
Okay, I would encourage everyone, if you haven't, to read that and ask whatever questions you need to, because I do think it's a beneficial tool.
Councilmember Mendez, you're recognized.
So the reason to do it together is, like when we had the language added to the budget ordinance in 2019 about the CARES Act committee, we all know how it goes. If there's separate pieces of legislation, then you're what's going to pass, what's not going to pass, what's the order it's going to pass. And so we did the CARES committee, which the CARES Act, money wasn't running through the budget, but we stuck it in the budget ordinance. The idea was to have them go hand in hand. And here, the vice mayor is in the habit of handling the budget ordinance on third reading first before we do resolutions. And so if somebody told me that we're definitely, absolutely, positively going to handle the separate resolution first, no risk, nothing, before the operating budget ordinance, that's fine. But if it's a matter of neat, tidy government versus, but there's nothing wrong with doing it in the ordinance, then I would rather just keep them together so we don't have to worry about parliamentary silliness.
Thanks, Councilmember Mendez. Director Flannery, I saw that you were raising your hand over there to say something.
Sure, I just want to remind folks that these dollars are not available until at the earliest December, when the final financial report is done. So as you're contemplating adding one-time operating-esque things, bear in mind you're looking at probably a 1/1 effective date if funds are in fact available.
Thank you, Director Flannery. I appreciate that. I don't see any other hands, so we're going to move. Unless anyone, I'll just go ahead and read through. I need to read through this first, and then we can move it and re-refer it. Approves the budget ordinance 2023-1867, Roten and Gamble. Approves the budget ordinance of the Metropolitan Government for fiscal year 2024. Can I get a motion? Moved and properly seconded. We discussed all that without moving and properly seconded. Have a motion to approve. Can I get a motion for approval and a re-referral? So moved and properly seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? You approve. 14 in favor, 0 against on second reading. Next is the CIB. We'll be doing the same with it. Hopefully 2023-1880, Roten and Withers adopts the 2023-2024 through 2028-2029 capital improvements budget for the Metropolitan Government for fiscal year 2023-2024. Can I get a motion and re-referral? And for the motion and the approval and for the re-referral, do I have any questions about the CIB right now? Seeing no hands, all in favor? Any opposed? You approve with the re-referral on third, 14 in favor, 0 against. Moving on down the resolutions. Item number 4, 2023-2194, Roten, Hancock, Van Reese, and others authorizes grants not exceeding $4,531,993 from the Barnes Fund for affordable housing to certain nonprofit organizations selected for the express purpose of constructing affordable or workforce housing for older adults. Get a motion. Moved, properly seconded. Councilmember Van Reese, you're recognized.
Something has come up since signing on to this, and I need to abstain and remove my name from the sponsors.
Director Darby, did you get that? Mm-hmm. She is shaking her head up and down, so you have been removed as a sponsor. Did we have any discussion on this item? Seeing none. All in favor? Any opposed? You approve. 14 in favor, 0 against, with one abstention. I'm sorry, 13 in favor, 0 against, with one abstention. That would be Councilmember Van Reese. Oh, my apologies. Director Darby was kind to me and reminded me that item number 3 was pulled off consent. RS 2023-2193, Roten, Syracuse appropriates $96,000 from a certain account of the Community Safety Fund for grants to various nonprofit organizations for South Nashville Community Safety Program. Can get a motion. Moved, properly seconded. Councilmember Allen, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just pulled that off because I was interested in getting a little bit more information about how that funding would actually be used, if there's anyone that can speak to that.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Allen. You may recall that in the previous budget, the council made an allocation for community safety funds, and these are appropriations to 2 groups, the Friends of Mill Ridge Park and the Somali community of Middle Tennessee, for a total of $96,000, $48,000 to each organization for some South Nashville community safety programs. Brianna Tillman in the mayor's office has worked most extensively on these 2 groups. She's here with us in the back. If I can turn it over to her, Chair.
Sure, Ms. Tillman, you're recognized. Microphone's on.
Hi, and thank you for that. Hi. It's a part of an area of focus, strategic plan into community safety. We're investing in partnering with grassroots community organizations on delivering services to the unique population of South Nashville. So Friends of Mill Ridge Park provide community development resources. They do a lot of community engagement with the youth and families around neighborhood improvement. And the other is the Somali community of Middle Tennessee, which programs specifically with the Somali community.
Councilmember Allen.
So the safety aspect is just giving them other productive things to do.
Yeah, exactly. Most of them program already in that area, and so it's just giving them the ability to program strategically and intensively with the population itself on programs they already have in motion.
And increase their capacity. Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you all so much. Seeing no other hands, all in favor? Any opposed? You approve, 14 in favor, 0 against.
Thank you.
Sure. The next 4 items, we'll take them all up. They are all moving along with the budget. It's items number 6, 7, 8, and 9, and the request is for all of these to be deferred until 6:20. And so I'll read through these, and if you want to discuss any of them, please bring them up, but we'll go through each one at a time and approve for the deferral to 6:20, if that's all right with everybody. RS 2023-2196, Roten, Benedict, and Porterfield adopts a new pay plan for the general employees of the Metropolitan Government, excluding employees of the Board of Health, Board of Education, and the Police and Fire Departments, effective July 1, 2023. Can I get a motion for deferral until 6:20? Moved, properly seconded. Seeing no hands, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? You defer till 6:20. Item number 7, 2023-2197, Roten, Benedict, Syracuse, and Hurt adopts a new pay plan for employees of the Metropolitan Departments of Fire and Police and Fire, effective July 1, 2023. You get a motion for the deferral. Moved, properly seconded for a motion to defer till 6:20. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? You approve, 14 in favor, 0 against for the deferral. Item number 8, 2023-2198, Roten, Benedict, Syracuse, and Hurt adopts a new pay plan for employees of the Metropolitan Board of Health, effective July 1, 2023. Moved, properly seconded for deferral to 6:20. All in favor? Any opposed? You defer to 6:20, 14 in favor, 0 against. The last one, RS 2023-2199, Roten, Benedict, Hurt adopts an annual salary increase for general officers and the sheriff to the Metropolitan Government. Moved, deferred to 6:20. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? You move approval, 14 in favor, again, 0 against for deferral until 6:20. Item number 11, 2023-2201, Mendez, Roten, Withers, and Allen approves activities and improvements eligible for tax increment financing in the Metropolitan Development and Housing Agency redevelopment districts. Have a motion, properly seconded. Councilmember Mendez, you are recognized.
Move to defer to July 6th to track along with an ordinance that will be on public hearing that night.
We have a motion for deferral until 7/6. Seeing no hands, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? 14 in favor, 0 against for deferral until 7/6. Thank you, Councilmember Mendez. Item number 15, 2023-2206, Porterfield, Roten, Syracuse, and others approves the grant contract issued and entered into between the Metropolitan Government and Planned Parenthood of Tennessee and Northern Mississippi for funds appropriated pursuant to Substitute Resolution RS 2022-1734 for a total of $500,000 for the Metropolitan Government to recipient. I think I'm the first one on this. It was Porterfield first, and I think I was going to have council just explain what this is. Can I get a motion? Move properly seconded. If I could get Director Darby just explain what this is doing. Director Darby.
This is a grant to Planned Parenthood. It was something that had been discussed in the last calendar year and was delayed to make sure that it would be consistent with any state law changes, and it is.
So, having that explanation, seeing no hands, all in favor? Any opposed? You approve. 14 in favor, 0 against. We're on number 20, Councilmember Allen. This is one you wanted pulled. 2023-2211, Roten, Syracuse, Hurt, and Welch approves amendments 1 and 2 to a COVID-19 health disparities among populations grant from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention to the Metropolitan Board of Health to address COVID-19 related health disparities and expand capacity and services to prevent and control infection or transmission among underserved populations. Councilmember, can I get a motion properly seconded? Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you. I just wondered if somebody from health could, there he is. I mean, it seems like COVID may not be the biggest thing where we're seeing disparities, and is this still solely focused on COVID, or will it be able to be used for other things that may be more important at this point?
No and yes.
Tom, introduce yourself for us, Tom, just so you.
The CDC has loosened the reins on that money, and so it has been used for various and sundry projects that are still aimed at helping defray disparities. For instance, we went to the schools and had seventh graders have to have a shot to go back to school. They forget a lot of times. So we went to the schools in the spring to get the sixth graders vaccinated, and we'd offered COVID just in case. Didn't have many takers, but mostly it was for that. And we use it for things like that. It's a no-cost extension because we hadn't spent it all just yet.
Great, okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Seeing no other hands, all in favor? Any opposed? You approve 14 in favor, 0 against. We are on item number 22, 2023-2213, Rotenhauser and Welch appropriates $6,817,680 from Metropolitan Social Services to various nonprofit organizations for the provision of services to those experiencing homelessness and to maintain housing opportunities. I got a motion properly seconded. See any hands? Oh, Councilmember Suara, you are always welcome and recognized. You're recognized.
Thank you. I hope you've been counting me in the votes all along.
We got you on most of them, I believe.
Okay, all right, thank you. So this is also in line with what Councilmember Allen has been asking. I'm looking at the details of all these contracts, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what these are doing. Specifically, if somebody can speak to the last one in there, I think it's the third one, which is a step up that has a match that is contingent upon 10 care. So is there anyone here that can?
Ms. Calvin's back at the microphone, so if you'd like to, you're recognized, Ms. Calvin.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for the work you're doing. I'm very appreciative of all the work that we're doing on the homelessness front. So my first question to you is that, first, I know there was a $50 million allocated for homelessness. Is this $6 million in addition to, or is it part of that $50 million?
It is part of the $50 million. There was $9 million dedicated for Housing First support services. So the $6.8 million is out of that $9 million.
Okay. So now the third contract here, which is for Step Up, as I was reading through it, I see that there is a $620,000 match, and it says it's a new organization, is contingent upon qualifying for 10 care. So what if they don't have 10 care? I'm just trying to figure out, will they be able to meet the objectives of the program?
Yes, they actually are a new organization here in Nashville from California, and they were successful in being able to build Medicaid there. So they've already started working on that process prior to even applying for these funds. And those funds would be a match for sustainability on the other side of providing these services, so not in lieu of.
So that will be for the continuation of service when this grant is over?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And then on the last one, which is the last one, whatever the last one is, there is about $1.5 million in professional services. Can you just describe these programs, what they are, and
is that still, I'm sorry, is that still on Step Up?
No, they will be on, if you give me a minute, it's a bunch of them. It says Scobey's Army on it, but it's not Scobey's Army. I think it's Mending Arts.
Oh, thank you for asking about that one. So Mending Hearts, their total request is $3 million, and the $1.5 million will bring on detox beds. As you know, most of the people that are living in outdoor encampment, the first encampment that we closed, 95% of them were IV drug users, so we thought it was important to bring on detox beds so that they have access to those services if needed.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got a little discombobulated up here between Councilmember Sledge and Councilmember Parker's legs running down the halls here. I didn't know which one to look at first, so I apologize. I got him. Seeing no other hands, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Another item pulled off consent, 2023-2218, wrote and authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Robert Newsom against the Metropolitan government in the amount of $14,000, with said amount to be paid from the self-insured liability fund. Get a motion. Moved, properly seconded. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had, usually we have 2 settlements every council meeting, and we have like 5 this time. And so I just, from time to time, raise the question, what were the consequences to the employee, and are they required? Often these are auto-related, for Metro-owned vehicles. So actually, we can take this one in 2231, or I'll ask the question now and save them coming up twice.
And I've got folks walking up to the podium, so if they could explain and introduce themselves and
do we require these employees to take some kind of additional driver training or consequences, or just some additional learning experience so that we can reduce the number of doing these things?
Sure. If you just say what agency you're with and your name and your
Matt Purvis with NDOT. The first one, 2218, is ours, and I know for a fact this was the employee's first incident of any kind like this, and he did receive a written reprimand.
Verbal? Is it verbal?
It was a verbal reprimand, is my
verbal reprimand, but no requirement for driver training, or maybe can you talk a little bit about what kind of driver training they get before they get access to a Metro vehicle?
So every NDOT employee, before they are allowed to drive a Metro vehicle, is required to do defensive driving training.
Gotcha.
And I'm not positive whether he was required to do that again, but I can check up on that.
Okay, that'd be helpful to know. Thank you.
Matt, you may not know, but what size vehicle before they have to get a special license? The weight, I know there is, but I just don't know it exactly.
I'm not sure the exact weight. I know it's usually weight, or if it's passenger carrying, it's above a certain passenger number. But this was just a pickup truck, so he did not need a CDL of any kind for this.
Okay. Thank you so much. So this was item number 26. Seeing no other hands, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 14 in favor, 0 against. On number 28, we had that pulled. Councilmember Allen, did you want to discuss that one as well, or are you okay with it? Do you want to? I've already read through it once, but we can do it again if you want to.
So I'm looking at my actual council agenda, and so the item numbers are not matching up. Do you mind telling me the resolution? 2023-2220 approves the projects. I'm sorry.
2219.
2219.
Oh.
Just, different question there.
2219, did we pull 2219 as well? I apologize. I did not have that one off. I'm sorry. Approves an option agreement between the Metropolitan Government and Friends of Warner Parks, and authorizing the purchase of certain property owned by Friends of Warner Parks, Inc. Getting a motion. Moved, properly seconded. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you. I just had a question, because I know this is a nonprofit group that does amazing things out at Warner Park, which is one of my favorites. And I guess my question was, I thought they donated things to us all the time, so why are we buying this property from them? Is that just a better arrangement, or is there anyone from Parks that could?
Cindy's in the back of the house if she'd like to.
Thanks.
Ms. Harrison is making her way to the front. Ms. Harrison, the microphone is on for you.
Thank you. Cindy Harrison with Metro Parks. Councilmember Berkeley, you're right. Or Member Allen, that you're right. They Friends of Warner Park donates quite a bit to Metro Parks. This is one that they had purchased and contributed. It's a discount sale to us, so it is still a major advantage to the parks.
Okay, it did look like a really good price. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison. Any other hands? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You approve. 14 in favor, 0 against. 2023-2220 approves a Project Safe Neighborhood grant from the Tennessee Department of Finance and Administration to the Nashville Metropolitan Police Department to reduce gun-related violence in Nashville by using data and network analysis, funding additional staff overtime, and purchasing added forensic equipment. In a motion, moved, properly seconded. Councilmember Allen, you are recognized.
This may be my final question. Thank you. Just, again, wondered if someone from the department could...
and we have someone walking up.
Great. Just address the question of how data gathering helps reduce violence. And
microphone's on for you.
If we've got data that shows the data is doing that.
Yes. So obviously I'm sorry, Chris Goder, Metro Police Department. So this money goes to our Titans teams, which are the neighborhood shooting teams. And that's what drives the twofold. Their proactive piece is obviously tracking data where our shootings occurring, where our homicides occurring, where they're likely to reoccur because of retaliatory type shootings, and then also conducting the post-shooting investigations. So part of it is to fund their overtime, and then the other part of that is to fund the purchase of a piece of lab equipment that does microscopic examination of bullet casings.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Allen, do you have any other questions?
No, that satisfies me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And seeing no other hands, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You approve. 13 in favor, 0 against. We are down to 2023-2231, authorizes the Metropolitan Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Josmar Jordan against the Metropolitan Government in the amount of $21,000, with said amount to be paid out of the self-insured liability fund. Get a motion. It's moved, properly seconded. Councilmember Allen, any questions on this one?
Same question. You know, I guess it's a different department. Same question. What are the consequences when an employee has a consequence for driving in a less than ideal way?
Mr. Honeysucker, you are recognized.
John Honeysucker, Assistant Director, Waste Services. In cases like this, it's stated of a verbal, but we also go back and have them do additional defensive training, and we also offer ongoing training throughout the course of the weeks when things like this does happen in these situations.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
The first and the fourth. 39.
Thank you, John. Councilmember Allen, any other questions? Seeing no other hands, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You approve. 13 in favor, 0 against. We are on to bills on second reading. Let me run through. We've got 3 on consent, 2 to be deferred, and then 2 to be discussed. Let me run through those on consent. These are bills on second reading. 2023-1874, Murphy and Roten approves a lease agreement between the Metropolitan Board of Education and the state of Tennessee on behalf of Nashville State Community College. 2023-1875, Roten and Syracuse approves an agreement between the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department and Lead Cameron to further youth outreach through activities with the National Police Activities League. And 2023-1876, Evans, Roten, Withers, and Pulley authorizes the acquisition of certain right-of-way easements and property rights for use in public projects of the Metropolitan Government, initially for purposes of the National Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure Project for the Melvin Road Culvert Replacement Project. This is on consent. Can I get a motion? Moved, properly seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? You approve. 13 in favor, 0 against. Councilmember Evans, I have a question because I've lived in Hermitage all my life and I could not think, where is the Melvin Road? Melvin Road, where is Melvin Road?
Melvin Road is, if you're on Central Pike and you're headed to Mount Juliet, it's on the left-hand side. It's like one of the last roads right before you get to the line.
Thank you. I was just curious. I didn't. Sure. And we are back to 2023-1868. Roten and Gamble establishes the tax levy and general services district for the fiscal year 2023-2024 and declaring the amount required for the annual operating budget of the urban services district pursuant to section 6.07 of Metropolitan Charter. We are referred. So this is, instead of deferred, is going to be, we need to approve and re-refer. So could I get a motion? Moved, properly seconded for approval and a re-referral. Seeing no hands, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nope. You approve and re-refer to 620. 13 in favor, 0 against. On to 2023-1871, Roten and Pulley amends sections 15.32.210 and 15.44.070 of the Metropolitan Code to modify the Metropolitan Department of Water and Sewerage Services reporting requirements. Get a motion? Moved, properly seconded. Any questions? Seeing no hands. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You approve. 13 in favor, 0 against. Item number 38 on the counter. 2023-1872, Roten and Gamble adopts the revised debt management policy for Metropolitan Government. Roten and Gamble, you got any motions? Moved, properly seconded. Any hands? Councilmember Allen, you are recognized.
Thank you. Just one question. The analysis answered most of them, but we're changing the debt service savings target from something to 3%. And Director Flannery, tell me what it was.
Director Flannery is looking hard, so we're going to see. You're recognized, Director Flannery.
It was 3.5%. We're changing it to 3% for advanced refunding candidates.
Gotcha.
And 0.25% for currently callable candidates.
Okay.
It's more in line with market conditions.
Thank you, Director Flannery. Thank you, Councilmember Allen. Any other questions? Seeing none. All in favor? Any opposed? You approve. 13 in favor, 0 against. Gotcha. 2023-1873 creates the positions of Accounts Payable Specialist 1, Accounts Payable Specialist 2, Accounts Payable Specialist 3, Attorney 1, Attorney 2, Attorney 3, Attorney 4, Behavioral Health Services Coordinator, Collections Specialist 1, Collection Specialist 2, Collection Specialist 3, Collection Specialist 4, Crime Lab DNA Technical Lead, Crime Lab Forensic Scientist 4, Data Compliance Technician, Extension Deputy Director, Homeless Services Director, Industrial Maintenance Manager, Payroll Analyst 1, Payroll Analyst 2, Payroll Specialist 1, Payroll Specialist 2, Skilled Craft Leader, and Transportation Administrator. I need a motion for approval and a re-referral. I have a motion for approval and a re-referral. See no hands. All in favor? Any opposed? You approve and for re-referral. And that is the end of our calendar. Thank you all so much for being here. We're adjourned. Thanks, Bob.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.